and none of that shit. I can't. Really
right.
Yeah,
so the S&M might be okay then. What about S&M? You like S&M?
Well, I would get with that. You know, I might get with that a little bit. I ain't trying to get my ass whooped or no shit like that. You ain't gonna fuck me up. My dick might go down and you beat me too bad. But, you know, I think that I mean, I would be willing to try that. That's a good one. I would be willing to try that to an extent. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I ain't gonna have no leather ball in my mouth and you know what I mean. Ass out Prince leather pants and nothing. I don't think I'm gonna go that far. But I'd be willing to, you know, do a little something if the opportunity presented itself.
Gotcha, Bean, gotcha. Well, what toys do you have in your nightstand, and what toys do you want in your nightstand?
It's crazy that you say that. I actually was blessed enough to take a sex class a couple of years ago with a gentleman that I did a comedy show for, and you know, in this class, you got a grade at the beginning of the class and you got a grade at the end of the class. And, you know, everybody was assigned a toy that you were supposed to become an expert in from the time that you got it until the time that you know, finished the class. And my toy happened to be a toy called the Butterfly Kiss. I don't know if you ever heard of one of those before. I'm sure you have. But it's a clitoral stimulator, and, you know, you can insert it and all that. And, you know, so I'm pretty good with one of those. If there was a certification in using one of those on a woman, I think I would have a certification. So I would say that would be the one that I would be the biggest fan of.
All right. Sounds good. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a three-way or what one would call a menage a trois? And if you did you prefer one of the girls over the other one and made them feel insignificant or made them jealous in the midst of it?
I've never had a threesome. I've never had a menage a trois. I've never experienced that.
But don't feel bad, me either.
So, you know,
right, don't feel bad, me either.
Yeah, but I've never done it before, so that's something that I'm still a virgin to.
Well, you know what? As you advance in your career, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of girls who'll be willing to have a little bit more fun with you.
Well, maybe so.
That's so funny. Okay, look, excuse me. Let me ask you this. Do you touch yourself even when you have someone else to touch you for you?
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm a product. Masturbation is a gift from God. I mean, anybody who knows me personally would tell you, my brother B-That, man, I just got my poem book back from him yesterday. And you ever be excited about something? You ever be so excited about something that you just can't wait to get to it? Like I wouldn't even have wanted any coochie last night because it was so many movies that I had in my collection that I haven't seen in over a year. So I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going, you know, me and Paul Metta going to have a good time tonight. That's what I call my hand, Paul Metta.
That is too funny.
That's the one that knows me better than anyone. Paul Metta has made me bust more nuts than any woman ever will. So, you know,
wow.
Very important to me. So I'm definitely down with that. And I think that sometimes, especially if you're in a relationship, you don't want to overdo sex. You don't want to make your sexual relationship with your partner stagnant in any way. And I think forcing yourself to be intimate at times is what causes people to become stagnant in their sexual relationship with one another. So I think it's healthy to participate in that, just to get it off your mind, to get that evil about you, you know what I mean? So you can actually sit down and watch a Lifetime movie with your girl without thinking about playing with her coochie while you're sitting on the couch and all that. So I'm definitely a fan of that. I'm
having so much fun with this interview, Bean. What's the strangest and craziest place that you've ever had sex?
The strangest and craziest place I've ever had sex, I would probably say, you know what? I think mine would have to be in the living room of my house when my whole family was in the house. I think that was.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, and I actually got caught. It was crazy. We was upstairs fucking in the living room, and then my mother yelled from downstairs, "My boo-boo!" She called me boo-boo. She said, "Boo-boo, what you up there doing?" And the girl just jumped off my dick and took off out the house. And I had to go downstairs and look at my mother and be like, "I don't know what you heard, but you was dreaming." So I think that probably was the wildest and craziest because I think that's the most embarrassed that I've ever been, and that's the only time I've ever been caught. Well, that's not the only time I've ever been caught, but that's the only time I've ever been caught by anybody who had any authority over me. So,
wow, that is hilarious. Wow, you were a brave young man. You were a brave young man.
Well, I wasn't necessarily brave. You know, it just was. You know, I was like 17, and you know, my meat was. It was. You know, I had that Eckrich. You know, you get you an Eckrich sausage time going, and you know, you got to get that handled. And she was there, so I was like, let's do it. And it's a bad idea.
Hey, you got it done, though. Well, let me ask you this. How often does 69 enter your bedroom?
69, I've rarely done that. That's not something that I've done too much. But, you know, at the times that I have done it, I don't know, every woman that I've done it with, which has been very few, said it's uncomfortable, you know, for them because they need leverage when they're giving me head. They need to be able to brace themselves on things, get some type of leverage to be able to do it. So I've never really had an experience with